Well, obviously, Kevin Mawai was a big hit today coming out here with his gold jacket. I gave him some time to talk to the team. I thought that was important. And other than that, I think really practice was similar to how it was down in Tempe. A lot of energy, and I think that's needed. Our big deal was, we got to leave here with a purpose. And it was defined. We talked about some of our goals going into the season, and I think players understood that. And I thought for the most part came out and did a pretty good job of competing.
Coach, what about the environment and being up here in Camp Tontozona and the elevation and the weather and the bugs and the bears?
My statement to the team and to the coaches was inconvenience, because this is not like convenient. This is not. It's just coming to practice, the living conditions, how we meet as a team in the cafeteria. There's plates, there's dishes, guys. But that's okay, because that's football. And I told guys, whatever happens, you got to be good enough and mentally strong enough to deal with it. That's what happened in the game. When things happen, and how do we deal with inconvenience? I'm a guy that always creates that kind of stuff. This is great for me because I don't have to create it. It just happens. Whether it rains, I don't know what's going to do. And I just say, whatever happens, we're going to adjust, and we're going to keep our poise and just get through it. And today I changed something in practice purposely. Practice was set to go a certain way. I got to period 7 and said, guess what? I'm going to change it. How the coaches react, how the players react, because that's football. And I think the more we understand that and keep our poise, the better football team we have a chance of becoming mentally.
What about historically, just being up here and the history and the legacy that Camp T really has?
Well, this is all about Coach Cush, his vision. He's looking down on us right now, smiling. He's looking at this field and going, boy, I wish I had that field when I was there, right? They used to have to pick up rocks off this field, and the players, he used to run them up the hill when they made errors. Well, I'm not going to do that to him. But it's a lot of history, and I think history is a part of football. It's the 100th year in the NFL of football. What, college football, I think 150 years or something like that. So I'm a real big believer in that. I learned that at a young age. Understand what history is, whether it's good or bad. If it's bad, you don't want to repeat it. If it's good, continue to build on it.
In that quarterback's dynamic, what did you see that you liked?
I think all of them are competing, and that's what you like. And I think we have to make a decision sooner or later, because they need to know who he is. And I think the offensive guys want to know who he is. I don't want you folks going in the locker room asking who do you think the starting quarterback should be, because that's not their decision, and I don't want to put it on players' plate. And these guys have been good, but it'll work its way out.
Do you know how many snaps for the quarterbacks yet for Saturday?
I don't know. We've kind of got a different format of how we're going to do it, how we're going to practice. The young guys are going to practice a little bit more than the seasoned guys. I had Marvin draw up a script last night, and we're going to kind of look at it today. And the crowd, I know there's going to be fans here. They'll see tackle football. I know they want to see tackle football. They won't see the quarterback tackles. We don't touch the quarterback. But it's an hour probably, and it's a 90-minute practice. So they'll see all they need to see.
Coach, what kind of traditions are you hoping to instill here up at Camp Tontozona on your behalf?
Well, I don't know. It's not about me. It's about what has happened here before. And it's about the traditions that were set by the greatest coach to ever coach ASU football. And it's Coach Cush. So some things I'll take away from that. Obviously, walking up the mountain, the campfires are a thing that has been done around here. And it's a way for players to open up and tell them your story. Every guy has a story in his life, how he got here and how he became a football player. I told him today, I said, don't be afraid of it. Just open up, man. These are your brothers. These are guys that you're going to play with for a long time. And don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Last night was unique. Firewood was a little wet. We needed some props to get it going. We had coaches fanning the flames. It was more of a smoke out early. And then as it dried, flames came up, and a lot of good storytelling.
I was talking to Jaden, and he said he feels like coaches are really looking at the way that other players respond to the quarterbacks in order to separate them. How big or of a factor is that? Are you guys looking at how the other players respond to the quarterback?
Well, he makes a great point, and I think all quarterbacks realize that. They got to command the huddle. And I think the way you command it, the leadership skills you show, guys draw to that. And I think the more situations you can create in practice, which we try to do a lot, they know who's in command. Sat in the quarterback room today, told him a couple of things of what's required mentally, not so physically, but mentally. There's some things you got to say sometimes, and sometimes you got to say it in a way where they get it. Since the quarterback is saying this is what we're going to do because he's the leader out there.
Are you hoping to see a sort of a fire lit under some of the guys, especially ones that are battling for specific positions while you're?
Well, I think this place, if you don't compete, you're probably going to be standing over there with me. That's already been established last year, and I think these guys are well aware of that. And I thought the practice went pretty good today. First time out up here, the scenery is kind of breathtaking. If you kind of look around, I'm actually practicing football in a place like this. So, and you can't say enough about how this thing came about. A lot of people were looking at Sun Devil football and saying, "Hey, we want to help out." This field was done by alumni and donors. They contributed to this, and so that's part of it. And I told our players we got to appreciate that. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things behind the scenes you don't know for Sun Devil football, and this is one of them.
Have you ever had somebody interrupt a practice like that today?
Not the gold jacket, but I've had a few come to certain practices on purpose. It was planned. But I told Kevin, I saw him up there and said, if you don't wear your jacket to practice today, I'm going to be disappointed. And so he wore it, and he knew he was going to get some time with the players. And, I respect the heck out of that guy for him to accomplish what he's accomplished. And he had some good words for those guys, some words that were thoughtful, but also about the game of football. Because we're all keepers of this great game, whether you coach it or play it. And I think we got to realize that the game is bigger than any player. And Kevin said it. He sat on that stage with history of the National Football League. And all of those guys that sat on that stage, as good as they are, they understood that they were just a part of it. They weren't football. They contributed in a great way to earn those jackets, but it's always been about the game. Young guys need to hear that because we're in a world today of building your brand and social media, and that's all good. The team is always the most powerful thing you have. He said that in his speech today to the players, which was good.
What's Jermaine Lele? He came out of practice today. What was his?
He's a little sore, and so we kept him out. Soreness is a part of it. And you start putting pads on, you start banging. Some guys get sore, and we're always, safety of the players is always important. We're always going to protect players. And I'm cautious about that, so he'll be back.
And Eno was sick?
Eno's sick. Obviously, he's used to fine dining, ordering out. So I don't know what to tell him. I mean, either he's going to be down to 165 because he's going to starve himself, or he's going to figure out something to eat. I don't know. I mean, I grew up where I ate, crackers and peanut butter sometimes because that's all I had. I guess some guys are just used to fine dining. I'm not that kind of guy. So he'll figure it out. He'll be all right.
How much do you think the fact that you showed you're willing to play freshman last year impacts the competition for those spots this year?
Well, I think I'm willing to play the best players. I did that in pro football. I saw a man at the Hall of Fame that is like my father. He's my second dad. He texted me today, wished me luck. It was Dick Vermeer. That guy was like my dad. My father passed away my first year. And I needed a man in my life like him. He was my coach. And he started me as a rookie. I was the only rookie corner to start in the National Football League my rookie year. And I wasn't drafted. There was first rounders drafted. They didn't start, I started. And he told me this. He says, you know what? You're the best player. And you're going to play. And from that day on, I played. And I understood that. And football's a game of competition. And the one thing you can't fool is the players. The players know who the good players are. And young guys don't have experience. Last time I checked, the only way to have experience is go play. The only way you learn to hold these cameras and do interviews is go out and do one. The only way I learned to be a media guy was the red light came on and I talked about football. I had no experience at all. But that's what you get. And that's what you have to understand about anything in life. If you're not willing to give young people the experience. And if they earn it, you give it to them. And they're going to slip and fall. It ain't always going to be great. But I always say this, you learn from your mistakes. And you can't worry about that. We'll correct the mistakes, and they'll get better. So that's what this program is about, to be quite honest. So it's always going to be about that.